Alrighty, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to South and Steel Outdoors. My name is Grant, and right now I'm really hoping that I nailed the audio because I just do all my camera and video filming and all that stuff in manual. So anytime that I have to edit settings and anything like that on the fly, it's always kind of a crapshoot. But as you can tell by the title of the video, today I'm going to be doing the second part into long range bow hunting. Now, at no point in this have I ever claimed to be Josh Bomar or, at that skill level. Instead of, automatically jumping to like the things that he does and to shooting these really, really extreme distances, what I decided to do is kind of make a video series on how you can improve, your effective yardage or your effective shot distance. And the best way to do that is to show you how I did it. So right now we are at 40 yards and I'm shooting with a hinge release. Now this is going to be one of the things I'm going to recommend that you do. And even though that I predominantly hunt with a thumb button release, I do shoot a hinge release a lot of the time. Personally, I like this hinge release right now. This is my favorite hinge release that I probably have shot in a very, very long time. And this is the True Ball Sweet Spot Pro. And I like it a lot because it has a safety on it. And I've already gone over this release one time, but we are going to start off at 40 yards. And I do have a second camera angle today, and we're going to use that for as long as the battery lasts on that camera. But we're going to start off at 40 yards. Now, the first thing that I'm going to recommend that you do is that either you go to your pro shop and you have them help you set up your bow, or you get a bow press and you try to set up your bow yourself, basically. Because if the bow is set up for you, you are going to shoot it a lot better than if the bow isn't tuned to you, okay? And shooting through paper and doing all these things are ways that you can measure that, but really, if the draw length isn't set up, if your cam timing's not in line, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, so make sure you can get your bow set up, make sure you can get it in time, make sure you can get your arrow rest set up, and make sure you can shoot a bullet hole through paper before you come to this step, because like I said, this is kind of the lower edge of where we're going to be beginning today. And the last thing that we're going to get into before we start, shooting and talking more specifically about the gear and your thought process when you start to hunt like this, it really does help to shoot 80 pounds, okay? It is what it is. The speed is so much nicer to have. It's always good to have a couple of turns or a little bit left in the tank just in case you have to really reach out there and to touch something, okay? And in my experience, I've always just had a lot better luck with 80-pound bows, especially the 80-pound bows from like this time period on. Really are more like 75-pound bows, okay? At the end of the day, they draw a lot smoother and they hold a lot better than the 80-pound bows in the day. So if you do have the strength and if you do have the ability to do so, I would highly recommend getting an 80-pound bow. But we're going to stop talking. We're going to take a few shots here at about 40 yards. So we're aiming down there. We got our second angle rolling, and we're going to take a couple shots here to warm up, and then we'll back up. All right, I don't think I can get really any better than that. And for reference, that target down there that I'm shooting at is about the size of a can of Copenhagen. And I shot dead center of it. All right, so that was my first shot of the day at 40 yards. And if I would have put that shot on an animal, I would be very, very happy. However, more than one thing goes into long-range bow hunting, okay? Knowing animal behavior, their body positioning, and how they're going to move when they are in these different positions is another thing you have to take into account. It doesn't matter how good of a shot you put on an animal if you shoot them at high alert and they move, and then that good shot you would have put onto them ends up being a bad shot, okay? So it really is just more than having your shooting ability on your side. It really is a couple of different things, which is where I'm going to elaborate more later on in the video. Okay, now we're back at 60 yards, and the reason why we're back here at 60 yards is because, well, 60 yards really isn't that far away from 50, and 40 was really, really easy, so we just jumped on back to 60. And this is the part of the video where I wanted to talk about arrow weights, because if you do want to shoot, at animals, or if you have been getting a lot of opportunities at, 50, 60, 70, and 80 yards, if you shoot a heavier arrow, you are not going to be able to reach those longer distances, okay? I'm shooting an 82-pound bow, and I'm still only shooting like a 440 grain arrow, okay? It's a 200 spined arrow, and it is perfectly spined for this bow, so I don't have really a lot of issues, okay? I cut it down a little bit, and this is where I'm going to have to reiterate this. You are going to have to do a lot of this work on your own, okay? You are probably going to have to get an arrow saw. You're probably going to have to get a bow press, especially if you want to work on all your own equipment and you want to have it done right. I'm not going to say the bow shop or, you know, who I use or whatever, but I just got back a bow from my local pro shop, and they put the cams on backwards. Well, actually, they put the top cam on backwards, and I had it labeled for them and everything, and they still put it on backwards. And, you know, we paid to have that bow worked on, you know, at that point, put back together, and all the other hardware and stuff we had to have ordered for it, and it was done wrong. If I didn't know exactly what I was looking at, I would have taken that bow to somebody else, and they would have just run into an issue, you know, at that point. And I have another laundry list of reasons on why I don't take my equipment to have someone else work on it, but that one is the most recent one that I wanted to go over. Alright, but like I said, we are at 60 yards, and we're just going to take a couple shots here, and we're going to see where these land. I just completely reset this bow up yesterday, so this is the farthest that I've shot it. Alright, I'm not even sure where that one hit. It looked like it was close. It might have been a little off to the right side a little bit. Yeah, just off the right side. Not a bad shot. It was way worse yesterday. This thing was spraying them all over the place, and then I completely reset it up, and now it shoots darts. It had something to do with the cable guard. I'm almost certain of it. It does make a noise. I don't know where this one's going now. Probably off the left edge. And the reason why I said that is because I moved my peep sight. Yeah, I threw that one wide. Alright, because that is something that I have to not do, because this peep sight, and these are, what are these? Gas bow strings. So these are gas strings, and I've already gotten some serving separation, and I have shot to the living shit out of this. I easily have 500 arrows through this bow by now, and the peep sight is still turning. So between that and the serving separation, it's really hard to justify, you know, these $100 and almost $50 set of strings for this bow. But what do I know? I'm just a guy who does all the work. That one hit off the left side as well. No, I mean, at this point, I really don't have a good... Yep, right off the left edge. Yeah, I can confidently say that at this point in time, I do not have a good string company that I would recommend. Actually, Rogue bow strings. Rogue made me a really good set of... it wasn't their most expensive option. It was the one right below it, but that was a really good set of strings. I have my Prime Nexus form, and I had no issues with that one whatsoever. Alright, remember when I said I was going back to 80? Well, I lied. And for my next trick, I'm going to shoot this thumb button at 60 yards, and I'm going to see how it groups down there compared to my hinge. So, I'm going to shoot 60 with the button now. Alright, that one probably, I think that one hit a little bit to the right, or way to the right. Alright, that one was probably pretty good. It's hard to say. Alright, that last one looked pretty good too. So other than the first one, those look pretty good. Oh, yep. Alright, so we're back here at 80 yards, and there's just a couple more things that I want to touch on gear-wise, and this will be more towards the front part of the video, not towards the end. But one thing you're definitely going to have to need, and this should be obvious by now, is an adjustable sight. Right now, I have a single pin on here, but I do not hunt with a single pin, and I don't recommend anybody hunt with a single pin. But for target shooting and for practicing long distance and stuff like that, a single pin sight makes it so much easier to aim, and it really does make it easier to be accurate at these finer yardages. Alright, and the last thing I wanted to talk about is vanes. Now, in my eyes, it really doesn't matter, okay? You can limit yourself to the style of broadhead you shoot if you do not have enough vane back here. And what I mean by that is you cannot shoot, you know, a big 3-blade fixed blade broadhead if you're going to be shooting target vanes on the back. Okay, you're going to need something that takes up a little bit more area, something that's a little bit longer, something a little bit higher profile, something that you can put a helical on so that you can have control when you get out to these longer yardages. Now, I'm a 4-fletch guy, and the only reason is because, and you know, I didn't believe it until I tried it. I was tuning a fixed blade broadhead one day, and it was a 3-blade. I don't remember which one it was, and I had 3 fletches with a hard helical on the back of it, and I was shooting them, and I just could not get them to group. Didn't change really anything. Put a 4th feather or fletch on the back of the arrow with the same helical, and then all my broadheads were able to group together, and I went hunting with that. Now, I didn't necessarily use the fixed blade broadhead to shoot anything that season, but I was able to carry it in my quiver because I had the confidence in it, and I had enough vane on the back of my arrow to do so. Alright, but we are about 80 yards. I'm hoping that my second angle is still rolling. If it's not, well, this part of the video will be pretty boring, but you should be able to still see the video, and I should be able to zoom in on it regardless, so you can kind of see the flight path. Alright, that one might have been pretty good. I have no idea. I'm about to take a look, though. Alright, so that one hit off the left side. Just for good keeping, we'll give it a click. And we'll see if that makes any difference. I doubt it does. That one might have been better. Or it might have been off the right side. Just off the right edge. Yikes, that is super, super close. And I did give my sight a bump to the left. I should have maybe given it a bump to the right, it looks like. That one felt pretty good as well. We'll see. We will definitely see. So I don't know about you, but that's a pretty good group. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch releases, and we're going to see how big of a difference the impact shift is from 60 to 80 with the thumb button. And hopefully that second angle was going. It made it through the last, and I don't know if it's going to make it through this one. Alright, here we go. Damn, that is just off the right edge. That's what I get for putting that click in that sight. I didn't need to do it. And if I didn't do it, I probably would have hit it twice by now. Let's see. That one's way off to the right. I don't know why that one did. I shot and I just saw it going off to the right. Yeah, yikes. I don't know what is up with that arrow. It's definitely that arrow. I'm certain of it. If this one hits right beside that wheel, then I'll know. Alright, that one might have been pretty good as well. But that is all that I have for you guys today, and the main reason why I'm cutting this video right now is because, well, the second ankle died, and if you guys can't see how I'm shooting, it really doesn't make that bit of much of a sense to keep on doing the video. But I do want to go over a couple things. So I did throw a lot of information at you in the beginning of this video, but I really want to take home just a couple of points. So first things first, the best way to get better at shooting is to shoot more. So if you're not already practicing, I would recommend starting now. I think we're right around to the end-ish of March, and so if you haven't touched your bow since November, now's a pretty good time to get out there and to start getting your reps in. Also, just as important as that, animal behavior is something that you're just going to have to get familiar with, okay? Whether you have to drive around and look at deer, look how they move, or do a little bit of research on YouTube to see body positionings and how they move when arrows are coming at them and stuff like that. You want to do all that work on your own, because if you don't know animal behavior, really when you do take an extended shot like this, it can be really irresponsible if you don't know what. And lastly, guys, you really need to learn how to work on your own equipment, okay? Because you can't just take your bow down to a pro shop any single time that you want to have something worked on it, or anytime you need to have something tweaked, okay? If you want to take longer shots on animals, you're really going to have to do all the work yourself, all right? Buying a bow press, an arrow saw, and a bow vise really aren't that expensive of an options when you're looking at a brand new bow. And when we're talking, you know, in the neighborhood of a brand new bow costing anywhere between, you know, $1,400 to $1,700, a $500 bow press, a $120 arrow saw, and a $120 bow vise from Amazon, really you can't beat it. So at the end of the day, you need to be proficient, work on your own equipment, and shoot as much as you can. That is about all that I have for you guys today. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, I hope you all have a good one.